guys, welcome back to a new Jobsticker's Jobseeker resource show every Tuesday at 2 p.m. here on Facebook. Hope all's well, and I apologize, I have ink on my nose from my 3-year-old this morning, and I couldn't quite get off the permanent ink, so hopefully it won't be too much of a distraction. So today we're going to talk about stats, and more stats, right? So everyone, as we're in this kind of data collection world, having data as a number one commodity, stats can pretty much guide us along into the decision making that hopefully will progress whatever the task is at hand. So stats are everywhere, involved in almost every line of work. And in particular, this show, I want to talk about hiring statistics. Okay, so I'm going to dive right in. I got plenty to offload. And first is going to be, what are the top recruiting priorities by an organization right now? And 68% said sourcing the candidates directly. 65% said building talent pools of the future. 42% said investing in tools to speed up hiring. 40% said establishing a strong employee drive. And 33% said succession planning. The top challenges facing recruiters are that hiring executives who say bad hires often lack soft skills, and that's 89%. 77% said hiring candidates who at first didn't appear to be a fit. 75% said candidates are changing their minds, and 41% said filling entry-level positions. The use of social media in recruiting: 55% are using career sites, only 39% are using job boards, and only 29% are using referrals. And remember, referrals are the number one way into a company, into an organization, and there are so many referrals being left on the table right now that I know recruiting firms and HR business units are trying to put more emphasis on having a better referral system in place. I actually wrote an article, an infographic yesterday that had a number that you can check out. I will post that as well below, that has some eye-opening statistics about the lack of referrals. So diving in a little bit, the top 5 recruiting priorities of recruitment professionals this year: 52% improving the quality of the hire, 24% said increasing retention rate, 23% said improving time to hire, 22% said growing their talent pipeline, and then 22% also said diversity hiring. Okay, so the impact of COVID-19 on employment. Okay, 64% of professionals are worried about losing their job during the pandemic. Young workers are most affected by the pandemic. The unemployment rate for young workers aged 16 to 24 went from 8% in the spring of 2019 to 24% in the spring of 2020. It's a huge jump. During the early days of the pandemic, employees were reluctant to change jobs, resulting in a 47% drop in applications across all industries. But now we are seeing the trend that people that didn't want to leave because of security, now that restrictions are being lifted more and vaccinations are being widely adopted as much as they can, we're starting to see a little bit of a slowdown in the virus spread. So now there is going to be a huge ramp up of people leaving to go to the next gig, because they're finally seeing that the security that they were leaning on the past year, they're not as worried about it right now. Now they're actually going to go and try to chomp at the bit of they're chomping at the bit of getting a new job. The U.S. unemployment rate reached an all-time high of 14.7% in April of 2020. Okay, now the five industries that were affected the most due to COVID-19 were travel and tourism is one, hotels, bars, and restaurants 2, entertainment 3, conferences and trade shows 4, and then manufacturing 5. Top 5 companies that hired during the pandemic: Instacart, Amazon, Walmart, CVS, Dollar General. 7.2 million openings in the U.S. and a total of 6 million hires in July of 2019. Okay, now the unemployment level as of January 2021 is at 10.13 million. Okay, so 72% of employers are having a hard time finding skilled candidates, and 74% of recruiters will face hiring competition, and millennials make up the largest age group in the U.S. workforce right now. Okay, next, challenges facing recruiters. Top 5 recruitment challenges caused by the pandemic: firing instead of hiring, high volume hiring, difficulties filling jobs, recruitment digitization, and then hiring budgets are being cut. 77% of recruiters go back and hire candidates who at first didn't appear to be a fit. And 75% of recruiters have experienced candidates changing their minds. 41% of the companies say entry-level positions are the hardest to fill. 36 working days is the average time it takes a company to hire talent. 89% of the talent say they accept a job offer faster when contacted by a recruiter. That's per LinkedIn. And talents are 4 times more likely to consider a company for a future opportunity when a company offers feedback. 59% of candidates have abandoned an online application due to issues or bugs on the website. Okay, that's a lot of drop off. And 89% of hiring executives say bad hires often lack soft skills, which I mentioned above. Okay, now, mobile employees hiring. 50% is the estimated increase in the number of mobile employees by the end of the year. 65% of the companies communicate the importance of a mobile assignment to an employee's career. 21% of executives say global mobility is a key to attracting and retaining top talent during this whole talent war we're in. 81% of the companies that pursue talent mobilization experience revenue growth or surpass targets. And 41% of companies use mobility strategies in recruiting outside talent. Since COVID-19, the internal mobility of companies in the U.S. has increased by 20%. And there's a 50% increase in the number of mobile employees in 2020. Obviously, we saw that working from home. So, some final data about recruiting and technology, as well as those pesky applicant tracking systems, right? We all know we got to beat the ATS. It does exist. And so the 60% of recruiters and hiring executives are using video technology, right? Okay, 84% of companies are using social media in recruiting, and 60% of the talent are looking for jobs using those social media networks. 50% is still word of mouth, about half. The most effective talent branding tools include company websites at 68%, and then the rest remaining are on those social media websites. 7 out of 10 are using Google to search for job openings. And 50% of employees still do not use applicant tracking software. Isn't that something? So you get about half. I want to say that still includes, moms and pops kind of shops, because obviously with the higher level, ATS is almost a guarantee to be used. But 78% of companies are using ATS, that are using ATS. Say recruitment tech makes hiring easier. And 80% job seekers are more likely to use social media in searching for jobs post-pandemic. Okay, now, top applicant tracking software: Bamboo HR, Smart Recruiters, Workday, Submittable, Greenhouse. There's your top 5. Job acceptance. The most important considerations in accepting a new job at 50% is compensation, 33% is professional development, and 29% is work-life balance improvement. Career opportunity, though, is the #1 reason for changing jobs per LinkedIn. They said 85% of the active and passive job hunters are open to new job opportunities. 70% of the global workforce is composed of passive talent, folks that are kind of lingering, waiting for the next role, but not being very active. Maybe they have a job already, or they're doing some upskilling and continuing education in the interim. 67% of employed Americans say the job interviews influence their decision to accept the job. Okay. 35% of the job seekers say they will turn down an offer if the employer does not offer a remote work option. 23% of employees report that they're willing to have their pay cut by 10% if they can work from home. That's pretty interesting. Okay, candidate qualifications. 50% of the companies seen an increase in the number of candidates with a master's degree for entry-level positions, and only 24% of college seniors will graduate with a degree in STEM. 52% of recruiters say they are most interested in candidates with a degree in STEM. Okay, and then remote work and the gig economy. Okay, so 84% of recruiters are in the process of adapting their hiring process to facilitate remote exchanges due to pandemic. Experts predict that by 2025, 36 million employees in the U.S. will be working remotely. Wow. And as of the end of the year, 41% of the American workforce will be working remotely. But back in 2018, it was predicted that 25% of employees will be working remotely. So it did jump a lot, obviously, given the circumstances. You have more than 35% of the U.S. workforce are freelancers. And 64% of college seniors this year say they're likely to get a job in the gig economy to supplement their main income. 65% of those contingent workers found jobs through referrals. Biggest setback in the gig economy, lack of employee benefits. 82% of the employees say they have at least one current contract job that is knowledge-based, i.e. writing, professional consulting, photography, and lack the benefits. 13% increase in productivity has been observed when employees are allowed to work from home. So that is it for stats. I know that was a handful, but this was a fascinating report. And what I'm going to do is put this report also in the link below so you can get a better grasp, because there's a lot more data on here. And just something to be aware of, because obviously with hiring, it is uncertain right now. I feel like there's going to be a ramp up, but we're also kind of teetering with a recession. So a lot of moving parts, but again, just own what you can do, keep control of what you can do, and keep the grind up, because obviously somebody's always hiring no matter what. But again, thank you for joining this week, and I will be back. Actually, I'll be off next week. There's no 2 p.m. next week, but we'll see you in 2 weeks right here on Facebook. And then every Wednesday, 2 p.m., LinkedIn Live. So I'll see you tomorrow, and we have a special guest tomorrow, so it'll be a fun show. All right, thank you very much again, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, and take care out there.